We have seen in the last section that there is a clear statistical relationship between low income and low life satisfaction. We will now leave the question of happiness and move to what will be a crucial element of this MOOC, the objective of poverty alleviation. The objective of this section is to evaluate the prevalence of poverty in the world. Some of you may be familiar with the statistics on poverty. In this case, you can skip this section and move directly on to the next one. If not, this section may provide you with some evidence on this. Most of us have at least once been confronted with cases or pictures of poverty. Nevertheless, we do not always realize the prevalence of poverty in the world. What is the percentage of the population living in this situation of poverty? Once again, there is no clear-cut answer, since the answer depends on the measure or definition of poverty. For instance, many countries have determined their own measure based on the mean income or revenue in their country. There is, however, one established measure to compare the average poverty rate in the world. This is the one of the World Bank. The World Bank sets a global poverty line and considers that the people earning less than a certain amount live in extreme poverty. The most well-known figure is 1.25 per day, but in 2015 the World Bank updated this line to 1.90 per day. Using this new level of poverty line, the World Bank announced in 2015 that there are still more than 700 million people living with less than $1.9 per day. There are many debates and criticisms related to this measure. The main one being the fact that it only reflects one aspect of poverty, the economic one. While such a debate goes beyond the objective of this MOOC, I invite those of you that are interested in the topic to freely discuss it in the course forum. Even if some of the criticism makes sense, I think that the World Bank poverty line is still a very useful tool, since it allows us to have a clear benchmark. Moreover, it is well known that in poor countries, low income is often related to low education levels and low healthcare. The World Bank publishes every year statistics about the prevalence of poverty in the world. We'll use reports with the former poverty line of $1.25, since we do not have full data with the new one. What do we learn from this report? We can see that poverty is not restricted to one geographical zone. We can find some poverty in all regions of the world. There is also poverty in the so-called developed, high-income or industrialized countries, even if poverty is even more prevalent in other regions. Where is poverty most prevalent? If you look at the graph, you will notice that poverty is particularly prevalent in Africa, but also in Asia. The percentage of the population below the poverty line is particularly high in Africa. Nevertheless, we can also look at the number of poor people living below the poverty line, the absolute value. In this case, we see that Africa is no longer the first region, it is Asia. There are more poor people in Asia. It is obviously due to the large population in Asia, particularly in China and India. Okay, we have reached the end of this short video. You are now able to estimate the number of people living below the World Bank poverty line and the distribution of poverty in the world.